go. All right. Welcome in, everybody. It is Saturday morning, 10:37. So you already know what time it is. Paid for play coming at you live to be covering the marquee matchups that we want to talk about, and then us dropping our full cards for the day. Everything you need to know from fantasy wise to player props to spreads, totals. You came to the right spot with my man Sam, JD, and Roddy. If this is your first episode in week 12, we don't know what you're doing for the first 11 weeks, but we're happy that you joined in. To everyone who's tapped in each week, we appreciate you a lot, especially if you like, retweet, and share. We're live on Twitter, and then we're live on YouTube as well. So make sure you're hopped in for today's college football's best bets. I don't know. The cards, maybe I like to keep using the word luscious. It's not as great as it's been, but as you can see, Sam's name, if you're rooting for chaos, this is the weekend where there's a lot of games you need to be watching. So, Sam, let's just stay on the chaos mode. Rocking an IU hat, so you must be feeling something.
I went with the shirt, but I wanted to give a message to everybody who's hating on LSU. Just go ahead and stay salty. Especially the Tennessee fans like Reese Davis. I know he's an Alabama alum, crying on national TV every time LSU's in the top 10. And, I mean, LSU controls their own destiny for the playoffs. If they go and beat Georgia, they deserve to be in the playoffs. I don't care if Tennessee beat LSU. But we are the agent of chaos in the playoffs this year, and I love it. I love this role.
Man, the vibes, the roller coaster that LSU has been. First year under Brian Kelly. I guess it can't have gone much better, but we'll save the LSU love for hopefully later on, unless the Blazers come in and be the agent of chaos that you don't want to happen. JD, how we feeling? DFS went well on Wednesday night this week. A little change up, but you saw the people there.
Yeah, a little change up. It's the holiday season. Things are getting weird. Next week is awesome, okay? And it's feast week. It's a great week for college sports next week, but it's a little alternative. Schedules are changed. This is kind of our last regular college football Saturday. So obviously that's exciting. It's also a semifinal week for college fantasy football week. So I got all the semifinals going. It's the last big DFS slate. So of course we're going to hit that hard. So it's a big week. I'm looking forward to it.
Roddy, you just been coasting so far this season. How we feeling?
Well, I mean, everything's been great. I actually was going to try to make my way to Lexington this weekend, but then I remembered I'm never driving 6 hours to go to Lexington, Kentucky. Are you serious? But I'm feeling great, man. I mean, everybody is kind of, discussing, who can get in, how can we fit in, who's going to be in. And we're just like, okay, watching from the top. So I love it. I'm cooling. I'm chilling.
So, Roddy, I need you to relay a message to Kirby and the fellas.
What's that?
Just lose. You all are automatically in. Just lose that state championship. Take a dive.
We could, but we could lose, but Kentucky doesn't want to win.
Win out, and then lose in Atlanta, and then 3 SEC teams in the playoffs.
Well, y'all keep retweeting that video of Joe Burrow making Trayvon and Jordan Davis look like high school children, where he was running around in circles 5 times and then completed like a 75-yard pass to Jettis. So we need some revenge. We need this for that. We need this.
Eddie's already telling Sam to keep dreaming there. Like it. We live in
guess what? Our dream is alive. Tennessee's is dead. So
that's why I said, look, I'm sorry in advance of what's about to happen, on December, I guess 3rd or 2nd. But
I'll talk myself into the game, into LSU winning that game by the time the game kicks off. But
that's what I'm going to say.
Right now we're being rational, but we'll be in Atlanta, so everybody else can keep crying.
And there's plenty games on this slate today that I think we're going to agree on. We're both agents of chaos and low-key haters, so we'll see how it goes.
It's also everyone's favorite bet time of the season, the narrative bet of they need to get to dub to get into the bowls. So let's see how much that plays a factor into any of these games here. but we got Sam 5 up today.
I think we just froze.
We
Oh
good.
yeah, you did. You're good though.
Yeah,
You're
we
back
got
now.
5 games up today that we'll be highlighting, and then we'll get to our best bets. So we'll start it off with TCU. Can't lose. Don't want to jinx them. Going into probably the sleepy spot at Baylor. Already got the Big 12 championship locked up, but that doesn't matter for the playoffs whatsoever because if they take an L at any point, they know they're going to be out. JD, do you think the Baylor can be the first team of chaos today at the big noon game?
Yeah, when you're talking about teams of chaos and games of chaos, this rivalry is all sorts of chaos, and that's what would have me scared. For sure, this game's always weird. It's always weird. I don't see why it wouldn't be weird here in Waco this week. All that being said, TCU, I've disrespected them probably a fair amount. I kind of like Texas last week. That was stupid. I'll say it every week. I bet Kansas State against TCU, and I felt so smart about that bet when they were up 28, whatever. And TCU just finds a way. I think they wear teams down. They're undervalued. They're 8-1-1 against the spread. They don't have to be a juggernaut here to beat Baylor because when you look at Baylor, they haven't had a good year. They have not been the team I thought they would be. I don't know what I'm supposed to be impressed with looking at Baylor's resume, okay? Was it when they lost to BYU? Was it when they lost to West Virginia? Those are 2 bad teams. How are you doing that? And then you look at their wins. Every single team they beat is like, who cares? Okay, you beat Albany. Yeah, you beat Albany, you beat Texas State. Okay, you beat Iowa State. They don't have an offense. Like, congrats. Kansas, I mean, okay, cool. Texas Tech, Oklahoma's in a free fall. I'm not impressed with any of their wins. TCU, while they've been close, I have been impressed with the way that they have won. I was very impressed with what they did defensively. Joe Gillespie, their defensive coordinator, that guy deserves some props. That guy is one of the breakout stars. So, all that being said, is TCU a team I can trust? No. Do I think they're better at running the football, okay, than Baylor, and I think that's huge in this spot. I don't trust Baylor's defense as much as I usually do. They lost 4 guys to the NFL. They're not as strong as they were a year ago. Aranda's a great coach, but I just don't know if he has the horses he did last year. So I lean TCU.
And it's where Baylor, did they just have the hangover spot / the look ahead spot both times mashed up last week because they looked dead in the water from the jump last week after beating Oklahoma. So, they always look forward to that game. Sam, are you riding with your name here? Or are you going and thinking the Frogs keep rolling?
No, I can't ignore 8-1-1 against the spread. TCU,
I know you can't.
It's less than a field goal. I mean, I understand it's a rivalry game. I understand that like TCU has to play with a little bit extra pressure of they can't lose if they want to achieve the playoffs, but they've found different ways to win all their games. Like last week, I never would have thought it would have been a 17-10 game where Texas' only score was a scoop and score touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't score an offensive touchdown in that game, and it was not like it was at TCU. It was at home. Texas has been great at home all year. They played Alabama down to the wire, and they just looked awful. TCU's defense looked really good. They found a way to win the game. I think they just continue finding ways to win. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be like blowing teams out and getting the style points that they probably need, but they still, as long as they keep winning, they're in.
Roddy, this Baylor team only put up a 3-piece at home against K-State. And you're telling me it's 2.5. So sure, that's saying they're 7.5 or 5.5 points better on neutral. Sorry for the early math. That's bad. But Roddy, what do you like here?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's for a team like this, of course, the books are probably going to say, well, can they gut out like 2 ugly wins away from home, like 2 weeks in a row? And usually late on in the season, some teams can and some teams can't, obviously. Last week, I wasn't like, it was a weird feeling that I got from last week. Like, I was kind of impressed that they were able to like muck that game up enough to go and win it, in the final third. But I don't know, like nothing about them has been dynamic in the last, couple of weeks. They've just been finding ways to win. So I honestly could not go against them. I think The 2.5 is just, again, like I said, can this team pull out 2 pretty tough road victories 2 weeks in a row late on in the season? And like you said, if they keep winning, they're in. Like they need this game. So every single game is going to have the highest level of focus and importance. So I would take them with the 2.5, to be honest with you. Like I know it's not going to look pretty and it's going to be a stressful ass bet, but I think they're going to win.
It's not like you have to cover a touchdown. You got to cover 3 points. Just
Yeah,
go get
just
a win.
keep a field goal, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, and again, it is going to be difficult. Like, it's late on in the season, weird shit happens. But Baylor hasn't been, like JD was saying, like they have so many like just embarrassing losses. So I can't not back a team that's undefeated.
I don't know. I think I have to stay away from this one here because I'm liking what Roger's saying in the DMs because it's just like the Pac-12. They don't love their conference. They cannibalize each other, and this is why they never make the playoffs. Let's get to the next game on the board before we get to our best bets at the end after we wrap it up. If you're catching us on Twitter, we appreciate you there. Hop over to YouTube if you want to be featured in today's show. Drop some player props or any questions in the chat. We'll get to them at some point during the game here. Is the slate this bad that we have to include this game on the board here? Because this is one of the fishier lines out there, even though Sanders isn't fully healthy. Maybe someone who didn't deep dive the scouting report here. I mean, the over sitting at 67 rightfully. This just seems like a rat line, and the Pokes should be able to cover the +7 with these because I'm not going to bank on Oklahoma's defense until Venables gets some actual time to get his players in, and he's not going with a bunch of second and third strings that everyone else from the starters from last year transferred out, and none of them can fit his aggressive style. So when you don't have the talent to play his type of defense, this is why you see them get huge numbers put on them week in, week out. Someone talk me off the Pokes +7.
I can't do it. I won't do it. I mean, Rex, you say this is a shitty slate, but you also have complained whenever we've had games bigger than like 14 points spreads. Like
no, this is just me hating Oklahoma because I bet on them twice this season, and I figured out how big the frauds were. So Oklahoma will always be a bad game for me this season because none of their games are enjoyable to watch, and it's not quality football at this point. Sorry if
it's not, but it's gonna fit perfectly for Bedlam. This game's gonna be ugly. I can't get off the Pokes +7. I don't think there's any way this game gets out of like a field goal if Oklahoma pulls it out. Their defense just can't stop anybody. Like they lost to West Virginia last week, and we're on the over 66. Got that earlier this week. I will always take the over in Bedlam. Doesn't matter what these teams are doing, but yeah, we're always going to rock with the over, and we're going to rock with the underdog. I think Oklahoma State can even pull this out on the road.
Roddy, are you drinking the juice with us as well, and we're going to mush them?
Are we going to bet on Spencer Sanders for the 4th time this year? Okay. The first
I don't know how many
times.
I was in. You and Sam love betting on them.
I faded Oklahoma State all year.
I took him against my will a couple of times just because the odds just made me but I mean, here it looks like a trap. And, the famous, dialogue in college football about this game is it's not a fucking rivalry. Okay. Oklahoma's 89-20-7. So it's not really a rivalry at all. Since it's at the crib, Oklahoma usually gets out to a good start. I know Venables has had some disappointments this year. He's obviously my second favorite coach in college football just because of what he did at Clemson. So I think, like y'all said, once he gets his guys, he'll be fine. But this is one of those wins I think that he has to have, and he has to have it convincingly. Just going on, into the future of the program, you have to hold, the standards of the rivalry, and beat their ass. So I would take the 7, bro. I like the favorites this week. I really do. Like, I think Oklahoma, just because it's at home. Now, if it was, at Oklahoma State, I might have a different direction here. But I think the Sooners get it done.
JD, you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, my one worry would be that Oklahoma's offense is pretty darn good. I know they didn't play well last week in bad weather, but the weather's not too bad this week. And Oklahoma State's defense, I've been saying it week after week, like they should get absolutely lit up in this matchup. All that being said, it's Occam's razor to me. Sometimes the most simple answer is correct. It's Bedlam. It's a rivalry. You're getting 7 points. I think Oklahoma State's undervalued. I think they have a pretty big coaching advantage in this spot. As of this year, as of 2022, okay. Like you guys said, long-term Brett Venables, we'll see. I want to give him respect. He's a good defensive coordinator. He'll probably figure it out. It's his first go-around. As of 2022, I think they have a massive coaching advantage. Also, Oklahoma, they can't tackle. They haven't figured out the system. They played a dual threat last week. Garrett Green, kid nobody ever heard of. Okay, he ran for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. Spencer Sanders. He can run. That's one thing we know about Spencer Sanders. So I definitely like the Pokes here.
All right. Give it to me. First play of the show for me. I'll make the +7 -110 official here. Another beautiful game here with Ole Miss going into Arkansas. How much can Arkansas keep mustering out? Because gross game last week, Sam. I know you enjoyed every second of it here. JD, can this Arkansas offense get going against the Ole Miss defense that you called to a T so far this year?
Tundra.
This lines up as a great spot for Arkansas with just being able to run the ball and at home and it's cold and Lane Kiffin in the cold. Okay. We already know what that is. Okay. That's not going to work well. I don't want nothing to do with Arkansas right now. I'm kind of done. Like, sounds like KJ is probably going to play, but nobody knows. He's got like a separated shoulder. This kid can't throw the ball. If Ole Miss, their front seven is soft as hell. Arkansas should be able to run for 300. No problem. But if your quarterback's got an injured shoulder and the backups, Lord knows the backups can't throw because we saw that last week.
Yeah, we did.
Oh my God. So I don't see why Ole Miss just doesn't put everybody in the box. And like, it's a fairly simple game plan. Like,
is KJ out again?
I was listening to their beat writer last night. He said he expects KJ to play. There hasn't been an update as of I've last seen. So I expect him to play, and I expect him to not really be able to throw the ball. If KJ's out, it's Ole Miss. It's that simple. The backups can't play. So as soon as if that news comes out, if it's surprising, KJ's out, the backups cannot play. But you have to wait for news, in my opinion.
Sam, are you buying into the Lane Kiffin can't coach in the cold narrative that JD's putting out there?
I don't know maybe if it was last year's team a little bit, but this year's team, they just run the ball down people's throats. And I think LSU was able to run the ball very effectively last week. Despite all the yardage you lost from sacks, like they still averaged, I think, 6 yards a carry or 5 yards a carry. I'm not sure on the total numbers, but LSU, like, they couldn't throw the ball against the defense last week, and they just lined up and kept running the same like RPO action. I think Lane Kiffin's going to be able to notice that based on the film. I don't know how the backups will fare against Ole Miss's defense. Ole Miss's defense can make anybody look good this year, but and they don't have a Harold Perkins running around able to just like track down the
over caches.
But that guy was
first Harold Perkins mentions took 18 minutes into the show. I was expecting the first words out of your mouth to be his name because good grief. I was going to have a part on him before he got to the best bets, but go ahead.
What he did last week it was the best game I've seen, I think, an LSU defensive player play in my lifetime. Like, what he was doing was just freaky shit. But yeah, I don't think Ole Miss has anybody
before.
A&M, baby. So they could use a guy like that.
Rex.
I feel like they could use a guy like that.
We're going to talk about them later.
Oh, yeah, we are. But yeah, I like Ole Miss in this spot. I think they'll be able to run the ball very effectively. And last year I would lean over in this game at what it ended 51-50, I think it was. But it was back and forth, up and down the field. I don't know if Arkansas's grounds crew is going to decide to like spray the field with water and freezing temperatures before the game. Also, that was kind of a dumb move.
It was so funny, bro.
But we'll see. I think it'll be a fun game to watch. Little appetizer before the best games of the night. So just throw it on, bet the over, ride with Ole Miss. It's another close spread, so give me Ole Miss in this one.
Yeah, if KJ doesn't play, I'd be nervous about that over to what JD alluded to. Roddy, wrap this one up for us.
KJ, AJ, TJ, MJ. Rebels by 6. Okay. They're going to be able to do something that's called control the clock. And I'm sorry, Rex, I have to bring it up, but just like the Commanders did, just like the Titans did on Thursday Night Football, time of possession. That's all you have to do. And if Lane has the like galaxy brain it that much, like he actually has like a bona fide running back, and he's a freshman. So it's not as if it's like anything fool's gold. Like he's actually good. He's 18 years old. So I think this is a Ole Miss spot, like in the biggest way. I told y'all I like the favorites, like especially in the SEC. It's a lot of very vanilla ice cream until we get to next week, and there's some more interesting games. But
Jenkins is
I
gonna
don't
look great in an Auburn uniform next year.
Oh, bro, look, don't do that because Ole Miss fans are gonna come after you. They're like, we finally have something to be proud about, and then you want to take it away.
He must want to be the next Tank Bigsby, a great talent. Okay, that's a freshman breakout, get ruined at Auburn. Okay, so he must have saw Tank. He just really wants to become that. Yeah.
Just stay in Oxford, man. Just stay in Oxford. Lane will do you right. He'll give you some laughs too.
All right, let's get to the easiest game, in my opinion, to cap today. UCLA money line plus 110 because the Pac-12 needs USC to win. Simple as that. This happens every single season, year in, year out. Tell me which one it hasn't other than the one Oregon year. Chip gets it done. Ryan, DRT. Roddy, what do you like in this one?
Yeah, man. Out in Pasadena. Gonna be a beautiful, beautiful sunset, I'm sure, out there. I am not touching this game at all. Like you said, Rex, this is the biggest setup of all time. And like I said, I do like the favorites this week, but this is one of those favorites that's kind of sketching me out because obviously there's going to be points in this game. The first, this is one of those, the first team to play defense 2 times in a row probably wins. But there's so many variations between UCLA. Like the Oregon game really even though Oregon had a awful loss, in my opinion, it's too many variations and fluctuations with UCLA. So USC obviously still in the first year, like we kind of said with Venables, it's a little cause for pause, just because we're not seeing, maybe the whole picture yet. So I'm staying away, bro. Like in total, I think this game is, if you have to bet it, like I don't think it's going to be that many points. 76.5 is a little high. It'll get close to that, but I don't think it's going to go all the way up there. But that would be it, bro. Like I have nothing.
JD, is there the coaching advantage here in the first year one? Because I think Lincoln doesn't have anything against him that you could really say at this point.
I actually view these coaches a little similarly, okay, in that they're like offensive gurus, and their step one is really good. If they can, it's like if it's a fighter, like if the right cross is there, the right cross is there. You're going to sleep, okay. If you're going against a fighter who can make adjustments, okay, the right cross isn't there, and then you're gonna sit there and get your face jabbed off, and you're gonna go to the corner confused, and you're not gonna listen. That's a weird analogy.
Great analogy.
No, that was a great
analogy. That was I understood you perfectly. Go ahead.
So I view both coaches similarly. I actually do trust Chip a little more, but I don't want to say that like confidently because Lincoln's done a great job. But I think his team is fairly simple. Like both teams are fairly simple. They don't have a defense, okay, and they're going to score a lot of points. So like I don't see how I could trust either side a lot more. To be perfectly honest with you. So all I'm taking is Zach Charbonnet. I'm all over him and everything this week. Okay. Fantasy points, you name it. He's at 122.5 rushing yards on DraftKings. I mean, USC, you watching the Colorado game last week? Like they got Colorado dudes nobody's ever heard of breaking down the field, running the ball. So USC can't stop the rush. I said it all year. Nobody's been able to stop Zach Charbonnet all year. They're not stopping him here. So I'm going to keep it simple. Just play his prop and that's it.
Hopefully they listen to Roddy and do the TOP here with Charbonnet. Sam, what do you like?
Over, baby. Give me the over. I don't care
Shit,
what
you like the over.
I don't care what the number is here. Like neither of these defenses can stop anybody. I get
It's like the hot dogs.
Yeah, this one was on the radar, unlike the 79 last week in Wake and UNC. We didn't take that one. I'm glad we didn't because it never ended up getting over the total. But, yeah, we're going to rock with the over here. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch in the Rose Bowl. Just throw it on tonight. Watch the points just keep going up and up and up. I don't think either it's going to be probably the last team to have the ball wins the game. Yeah, give me the over. That's all I'm on. I can't pick either side.
I'll be rooting heavily for the Trojans in this one. I might surprise you guys, but I'm rooting for the Trojans because next week, you guys know who they play? You know where they play? Yes, I'm going to be in Southern California. It would just be lovely to be there in person to see this Friday.
LAJD, baby. Let's go.
Baby. Yeah, so I'm all in. And yeah, go Trojans today. You can ruin your season next week. Keep it alive for now.
He wants to see it in person.
Yeah, I need to be an active participant in their demise. That's what that is.
Brex, do you have anything on this one?
Me? I said the UCLA money line.
Oh
yeah. He's confident.
Started off real quick. Easiest way to go going against JD's theory there. All right, JD, we're gonna keep you on the spot here because Utah was the team when you were watching the Extra Dose series with him extremely high on. They got the number 10 spot, so you weren't wrong whatsoever. Who would have thought 4 Pac-12 teams potentially at this point of the year to be in the top 15 or 17 just like this, which is a solid showing for them. Can Utah throw the ball at all? Because if they can, doesn't that mean they beat Oregon at this point of the season if you have any competent quarterback? Because boy, oh boy, did the Oregon's DBs, I know, maybe not enough film time on them, but they were not looking great last week whatsoever.
Yeah, this one is going to be the same as the first Pac-12. I'm not playing the side. You brought up the great point. Oregon, they can't stop anything, through the air. They can't stop anything. Now, I think that makes that a good matchup for Oregon at home because Utah would prefer to run the ball. Mm-hmm. They're the old school team. They still establish the run. People make fun of that term. That's still how Utah plays, And Oregon's actually decent against the run. So I keep it very simple. They can't stop the pass. They have one good corner. Christian Gonzalez, kid might be a first-round pick. They're going to put him on Devon Bailey, Utah's top wideout. It's very simple. They're going to put him on him. The rest of the people should be able to feast. Who does Utah have? They run their offense through the tight ends. One reason they haven't really been operating full strength. At one point, they were down their top 4 tight ends, and Andy Ludwig, again, operates his whole passing offense through his tight ends. So that's not good. But Dalton Kincaid is back. They played Stanford last week. Stanford's terrible. They didn't even need Kincaid to play. This is the kid who went for 200 yards, a couple touchdowns against USC. Pretty much single-handedly won him that game on a bum knee. The issue was he was on a bum knee, so he had to take some time off afterwards. He came back last week. They didn't even need him. Blowout win. He had 8 targets, so that tells me he's healthy. Oregon's linebackers in coverage. Noah Sewell's their best covering linebacker. And if you've ever seen Noah Sewell move laterally in coverage, you know that's a problem. Justin Flo has it's like a 27 coverage grade on PFF. It's the lowest I've ever seen. The shit is green if you're really good, and red, it's the reddest I ever seen. It's just in time for Christmas. You can hang out on your lights, and be very festive, And Dalton Kincaid, I think, is going to cook. So this is a long way of me saying I like Dalton Kincaid. I played his over 56.5 receiving yards, on DraftKings, 56.5. He's also he's a great play everywhere. I like him on Prize Picks. 11.5 fantasy points. That's not nearly enough.
I think you went this whole analysis with the one thing I was hoping you were going to say. Is Bo Nix playing?
If you ask his wide receiver, he said in the interview, obviously Bo's down, so next man up. Paraphrasing what he said. So it sounds like no. All the Oregon fans thinks that's a deep fake. This is I don't get into all this weird conspiracy. I don't know if he's playing or not. Utah seems to think they're playing. Kyle Whittingham says they're preparing as if he's playing. But of course you're going to prepare. If Ty Thompson is playing, that's tough. I think Utah could actually win. If Bo Nix does play, this is a good matchup for him. I think they shot him up with some drugs, whatever they call that stuff. They shoot him into the medical tent because he looked like he could barely walk. He was holding his shoulder, his ankle, and his knee. Okay, so I don't think it's good. So even if he does play, I think he's hobbled. Okay, if he was playing, this would be a way better matchup for Oregon. But if he does play, I don't think he's healthy. And if he's hobbled, like his whole thing is being crazy and being a dual threat. So either way, I think that's not good news for Oregon. If he's out, Ty Thompson hasn't shown anything. Big recruit. This kid really has not looked good. The staff clearly doesn't trust him. He was like down in third string at one point for supposed to be the quarterback of the future. So that's my long way. I don't know, but it's not good either way.
Sam, you got anything in this one here? Because I'm staying away from this game here.
Yeah, I think we could get a little bit of the old school Pac-12 after dark, a little crazy game going on out in Autzen. But give me Utah. I just think the coaching advantage is a little bit too much in this game. The possibility of Bo Nix being out, it just feels like it's leaning Utah a little bit. And I can't give those two. I know it's a completely different coaching staff this year and everything, but I can't get the two games last year out of my head. Like Utah absolutely destroyed Oregon both times they played them. I think I think Oregon's getting there to where they can kind of compete with Utah, but I think Utah is the class of the Pac-12 this year. I think they're going to go on to win the Pac-12 championship. They need this game to get back into the Pac-12 championship, so I think they're going to pull this out.
Roddy, what's your final thoughts before we get to the best part of the show?
Yeah, I feel the same exact way. And all I can say is it's really dependent on if Bo is playing or not. But Utah has a coaching advantage. They have the experience. They're not going to be, scared to go into Oregon. Even though I think Oregon's going to be able to run the ball very well. And again, the time of possession stuff, you're going to need your quarterback to throw the ball eventually. So if your quarterback can't throw the ball, it's kind of going to be a little sticky, especially against Utah, because they're going to have efficient offense. So I would say Utah, like you said, they need this game. So I would have them if I had to bet on it, but no official play.
All right. Before we get to our best bets, make sure you like, retweet, follow, sub. We're about to give out our full cards, but JD, this is your time. Any prize picks, props, any good stuff you want to dish out for the people, and where can they catch the full stuff? I know. And what game did you write up this week for covers if you wrote one?
Yeah, I wrote up that TCU game. Okay, that was a hard one to call. So I wrote up that TCU Baylor game, so check that out, covers.com. And then I wrote the Hawaii game. They always give me the Hawaii game every time there's a late night game, okay, because all the degenerates, okay, we're like sitting there and maybe our bets are hitting, maybe they're not. So, you want some action, you look up the Hawaii game. So I'm on UNLV in that spot. Go ahead and check that one out. UNLV is going to reach a bowl, baby. They finished the season with Nevada and Hawaii. Those are going to be 2 wins.
11 p.m. start.
Oh, yeah, baby.
It sucks when Hawaii's not good, man.
Oof.
It's the worst.
I've tried to stay up to watch them all because I'm writing about them all. It's not fun to watch. That's not a good football.
No, hell no. What?
Fun fact, you used to get yelled at, not currently, but when you would 12:30 on the Facebook stream, those days were the best to watch the Hawaii games.
Hell no, bro. Y'all are fucking real degenerates.
Dude, it's sunny out there. It's 12:30. You're either up a few bucks or you're either down a few bucks, and that over really matters.
And they're showing you the beautiful scenery at every cut scene and every commercial break. So you're like, okay.
Commentators are fire too. Best commentators out there as well. But JD, you got anything else you want to drop?
I do for sure. I'll give a few more. I shout out a few of the prize picks, Kincaid, Charbonnet. Okay, I called them out kind of as we went.
Mm-hmm.
If you want a few more, I'm all over Nakia Watson. Okay, Washington State. Let's get around. I just have 3 player props as my card today. Okay, I don't really like the sides of totals all that much. I like player props. Nakia Watson, Arizona's rush defense is 131st. There's 131 teams in the country. Okay, they're 131 out of 131. Watson's got over 100 yards twice in a row. So Washington State, I like that team, man. They got smart coaching staff. Kim Ward hasn't quite been the breakout star I thought he'd be yet, but the rushing attack has worked. They're smart. They're going to run the ball. Okay, so I like him. I like his overs. Price picks, I got it at 13.5. I think it's up to 15.5. I don't care. I'm playing it, and I'm playing as rushing props on DraftKings. That's at 85.5 as of a couple minutes ago. Other than that, if you want a full entry, let's go with Keaton Mitchell, running back, ECU. They're playing Houston. Houston, They might give up 70 points. They might give up 40. Whatever they're doing, it's not going to be good. And Keaton Mitchell's been like 20 points each and every week. So he's going to get you over 20. I think he's up to 20 and a half since I played it. I played at 19 and a half, but I like that all the way up to like 23 and a half. He's going to go off. Okay, they can't tackle. Keaton Mitchell might be the fastest player in college football. When he hits the combine, people are going to find out who this kid is. Okay, so, but yeah, that's me.
All right. Roddy, you got your card ready? You're on mute, my man.
My bad. I do. Let's see. So, I mean, like I said before, I do have Ole Miss -1.5 as an official play. Then we're gonna go to Texas versus Kansas. If we know one thing, we know Kansas is gonna score. If we know another thing, Texas is going to rebound against a team that they should slaughter. So I actually like the over in this one. It's at 63.5. I'm taking that at -110. Obviously, we have to go to my bias, even though it's going to happen. We got hooked in the Tennessee game on the number, but we're going to go back to the well, baby, because they're not the Tennessee game, the Florida game, should I say. But we're going back to the well. -22.5. Dogs on top. Kentucky. Mark Stoops. Woo! Damn, homie. In high school, you was the man, homie. Look, he's fallen from grace.
It's a bad time to announce that you need help from your new collective after losing to Vandy.
Yeah, man. That's why I said like taking the L to Vandy is just and like you said, being a crybaby after. Anyway, speaking of Vanderbilt, did
Really need them
odds
to win today, by the way.
Who, Vandy?
That 7.5 win total under for the Gators I gave out week 0 is real sweaty because they need to win the last two. So I need Vandy to show up.
Sorry, Rex, you're gonna have to wait till Florida State week because I got Florida -14.5. I got it at -105 earlier in the week because everybody is like respecting Vanderbilt now, and I'm like, it's Vandy. Like, don't fall for it, bro. Don't fall for it. Florida's gonna beat their ass. So yeah, give me not Vandy. Give me Florida -14.5. That's -110 right now. So go get that, and then it's time. Sam, you ready? Is this team 33 points better than anybody?
No, buddy.
Anybody?
No.
Is this team 33 points better than anybody? For real. I'm being so serious. And I get it's UMass, okay? But this team is not 33 points better than anyone. Anyone. This is the biggest dumpster fire of all time, okay? I know it's at the
held
crib.
out his best receiver last week because he wore sleeves.
They hate him. They hate him. And I see why they hate him. They deservedly hate him. And I would hate him, okay? So UMass, 32.5, -110. Again, this team is not 33
Please tell me you're not going to watch
better.
the game.
Oh, hell no. Are you serious?
Okay, good.
Oh, my God. No, hell no. But that's my last play. This team is not 33 points better than anyone. I don't give a fuck who it is, okay?
That's a lot of gross maroon color on your TV as well, other than gross football.
Yeah.
Roddy, there's some good news on your bet too. They got videos here. Devin Achane, their star running back, he's been their entire offense. He's walking around on the field. He's in uniform, but like it looks like both his ankles are broken or something. Like he looks like he's about to poop his pants. Is how he's walking around. So he doesn't look healthy. And then their starting tight end is also out, so it doesn't look great for them.
Yeah, and their offense is just like again, like it's UMass. They're going to be able to move the ball. They're going to be able to score. Hopefully, they'll be able to do that. But again, like they're not 33 points better than anyone. So that's it.
All right. Do we got CVS Sam today, or are you keeping it tame?
No, we're keeping it pretty tame.
10 plays tame?
I mean, I don't even know the total. I think we're less than 10. We're not in double digits. We got an engagement party tonight, so not going to be able to watch a ton of football. Just going to be hanging out, enjoying. We might add some drunk picks later, that's for sure. Definitely going to be drinking heavily tonight.
Friendsgiving. Everyone's
no.
got the Friendsgiving this weekend.
No Friendsgiving for me this year. Just
No friends.
yeah, true. But we're gonna recap what we already had. TCU -2.5, Ole Miss -2.5, Oak State +7 in the over in Bedlam, over 76 in UCLA and USC, and then Utah -1. Got it before the number moved or ballooned a little bit. I know it's gone across 0 and gone heavily on Utah's side, but 3 other picks. I'm on the over in Texas, Kansas State Texas and Kansas with Roddy in that one, over 63.5. I'm on the UMass +32.5. Texas A&M is looking past a team, and they absolutely cannot afford to. They're already talking about Piston and LSU's cornflakes next week as their goal for the season. I understand you were the number 6 rated team, and your only hope for this year is to ruin someone else's season to try and get to 5-7 as a team. But yeah, I don't know why they're looking past anybody at this point. I could see this being like a 24-3 type of game. Like they can't score points, and like the injury news JD just let us know about, that just makes me feel even better. And then one final play, Tennessee -22. Another team that's just dominant against the spread. They're in style point season. I think I understand they're going on the road in this one, and South Carolina's been a frisky team all year, but still, I think Tennessee's just trying to do whatever they can to justify getting into the Final Four at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that point total is at 44.5. They might put up 60 today.
Damn, you guys are scared. Didn't hear anyone play the over in the Minnesota game today. 31.5.
Yeah,
against
right.
Iowa.
Yeah, right. Iowa's cancer.
And then what's the other one? Liberty's laying 10 against Virginia Tech today.
It's a gross slate, but it's the last like full Saturday slate we have. So we got to.
No, I was just saying those are probably the 2 most eye-popping lines out there today. Hugh Freeze definitely out after Liberty this year. I kind of want to lay the 10 with them here because Virginia Tech's done and dusted at this point. So too scared to do that. So the 2 plays I gave out on the show were the +7 with Oklahoma State at -110 and the UCLA money line at +110. JD, you made me scared. I thought Arizona could potentially be a hungry dog today. Get the win this week, get the win next week, bowl eligible. They seem to be really fighting for the head coach there. So that's where Wazoo's been a team we've been riding, though. So I was scared against it, but I can't let you talk it off me because, yeah, I see the advantages exactly what you pointed out, but my hungry dog of the day is Arizona +155 on the money line. Never thought I'd be thinking of them as a potential hungry dog this season, but this is where we're at. Maybe this is go ahead.
They've been undervalued. Remember, what was that line when they played San Diego State at the beginning of the year? It was like, what, +10?
Yeah.
They've been undervalued all year. Yeah, I don't hate that. They've been undervalued. They're at home. They're in the desert. Like last week, Pullman beat the crap out of some team. What was it? Arizona State. I was on them. Okay, but that was in Pullman when it's cold. Now you're traveling to the desert. You're playing Arizona team that's hot. That needs reach ball eligibility. I don't mind that.
Second one, this might be a little bit of getting my money back, so you might not have to get this one, but only -3. Malik Cunningham's final home game. Give it to me against NC State. Give me the 3. I know he's not 100%, but final home game. Sam, you got something on that one or no?
No.
I just have to rock with that one there.
You're brave. Louisville is a roller coaster as well. So
tell me about it. We've bet on probably a little too few of their games. So his final home game, we got to trust him. None of you are in the Hilltoppers?
Yeah, I was kind of like, it looks weird over there. But
because Auburn needs both wins. There's no chance they're getting them. I think they blew their load last week, at a lack of better term, because that Jordan Hare looked like it was the fucking Iron Bowl for. I think they got up for Cadillac. I think they overlooked this one. I got +6 with the Hilltoppers at -110. I think they keep it gross and close.
Okay.
And then JD, another Pac-12 question for you. Tell me why I don't lay it with Cal. I'd never want to lay points with Cal, but in the rivalry here,
The big game. I'm thinking about going to this game. I probably won't. If like the football sucks in the morning, I know a few people who are going. They're trying to get me to go. The football is going to be so bad in this game. Do I really want to watch it? I won't talk you off of it. Stanford sucks. I don't have anything good to say about Stanford.
I'm too scared to do it. That's a lean. Leans are always undefeated, so that's where the ones you guys can make it your whale of the day. Steal it, give it to your VIP. I'm too scared. So I'll go to Sunday service before Sunday morning quarterback, so I won't play the Cal -4.5. The under might just be the easy play there, too, to what JD alluded. Because that should be at what the Minnesota-Iowa number's at, to be honest.
No Blazers plays today.
Yeah, I told you before the show, I might take the 15 because it's like my cousin just said, it's cold as hell. It's raining. It's nasty. I don't know, though. It's the last
Blazers
game
are
of the
just going
season.
to try to run the ball. I'm blanking on the running back's name, JD. Filthy.
Which one?
UAB
Dwayne McBride?
running back.
Dwayne McBride, yeah. Neither team could really stop the rush in that one. So I think LSU, Josh Williams, big day. Dwayne McBride, big day. The thing with UAB, because I was interested in UAB, the thing with them is they traditionally play kind of poorly out of conference games, okay? They show up to win the Conference USA and then out of conference not so much. Whereas LSU in this one, they need the style points. So I think like the narratives behind it motivationally is kind of for LSU. Yeah.
Other than that, hopefully we get Goose back at some point this season because I don't know. Maybe Rutgers will cover +19 on the 4th and 30 after scoring on the third end. That was fucking nuts to start off last week.
That's why I'm like, damn, Goose goes through this like weekly. Like, what the fuck?
That was one of the grosser games I subjected myself to. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Roll it back about 10 minutes if you want to get all of our plays. We covered 5 marquee matchups. If you want to hear analysis on those, we appreciate everyone tuning in, week out. You still got 30 minutes potentially if you want to get the DFS slate in, JD, because I know the Navy game started. Does that cancel it?
No, yeah, it's still open. I got it open right now. Okay. Donovan Edwards is out. That makes Blake Corum good. All the news is flooding in. So it's crunch time, baby. Crunch time.
So, yeah, if you want to roll back, JD's got the episode on our channel. If you want some quick hits on the DFS there, make sure you check everything. Your rates up. Make sure to follow Roddy. He produces the Player Ball One podcast. Make sure to be tapped in with that. Make sure to follow Sam. It's still dumb brain picks. You're just Agent of Chaos today.
I'll be Agent of Chaos through December 3rd. So,
like, retweet, follow, sub. Sunday morning quarterbacks tomorrow. We are out. Shit, where's the end button?